Hey guys, it's Shellfade. Welcome back to another video. This is my AK-47 tutorial. Now, those of you who are subscribed to me will know that I promised this video like 2 months ago. Anyway, just a few little notes before we start the video. This video is made for everyone from the skill level of Bot-Cyber-ClawZ up to the skill level of PLG Nova. That's what I aim for. So if it's really basic at the start or towards the end, some stuff kind of goes over your head. It's just for people of a different skill level. And one more note, I do a hell of a lot of talking in this video. There's not actually much to watch, so yeah, you don't really have to watch, but listening is very important. If you can't use audio, turn on the closed captions. Alright, that's all. Let's get into the video. AK stats. Alright, before we start using the AK, let's have a look at its stats so we know what to expect from it. Here are the important stats of the AK. Damage, up to 30 per bullet, so it can 4-tap. Accuracy, quite accurate, tied for third accurate gun. Aim cooldown, very fast, great for getting quick accurate shots. RPM, high, can deliver a lethal amount of bullets in a fraction of a second. Alright, now let's look at the basics of how to use this gun. First we will cover settings. You can use any keybinds you're used to, but the important one is mouse sensitivity. This is different for everyone, so I won't give you a number. To test if your sensitivity is right for you, do the following. First, equip the Free Ranger. Then create a private castle map for yourself. Then go on top of the wooden cross stakes on the B1 side of blue spawn. Here, for those of you who don't know. Look back towards the blue side, and then alternate shots between the bushes using the Free Ranger. You should be on target for the other bush before your crosshair has settled back to maximum accuracy. Once you run out of ammo, switch to pistol and repeat on the 2 small blocks. If your crosshair often ends up outside of the 2 targets, then your sensitivity is too high. If your crosshair often ends up between the 2 targets, then your sensitivity is too low. If your crosshair lands on the targets 90 to 100% of the time, then you're fine. Now let's look at shooting the AK. The most common question about shooting the AK is whether to full auto or to burst. The answer? Do both, depending on the situation. We have this principle called quality versus quantity. You can either play for quality, which is accuracy per bullet, or quantity, which is bullets per second. How do you know when to go for quality or when to go for quantity? Ask yourself this question. Inside or outside? A good way to tell when to stop shooting and let your crosshair settle is to look at the width of your crosshair. If it is small enough to fit completely inside your opponent's shell, keep shooting. If not, stop for a little bit and let it shrink back down to a fitting size. If you're not shooting and it doesn't fit, don't waste ammo. You need to get closer. Now that we know how much to shoot, let's look at putting each bullet to good use. Let's look at how best to shoot. Because the AK requires multiple bullets to secure a kill, you cannot just line up for one shot, like you would for the crack shot. You have to be lined up for the whole time that you're shooting. People call this tracking. The best way to improve this skill is to grab a bunch of friends, create a private map, put the damage down to half, and then have everyone play the AK and P90. Eggs move at a steady speed, so your crosshair should do the same. The way to achieve this is to have smoothness of movement. Your crosshair should feel like it is sliding down a slope. That's why sensitivity is so important. because it allows you to be smooth. The best way to be smooth is to keep calm and just feel it. So, the opposite of me in ranked. So that's the basics. You should now be able to get kills with the AK. Now we just need to learn to get them without dying so we can get kill streaks. And the best way to do that is to fight at the right range. Choosing the right range. The AK is able to get kills at close and medium range. One of those two ranges will be safer for you depending on which weapon you are fighting. For example, it is safer to fight a Scrambler from medium range so less pellets hit you. Each weapon has an effective range limit, whether from impossibility, such as the RPG at point blank, or impracticality, such as the P90 at long range.
What are you going to do?
You just need to know the weakness of each weapon and engage them at that range. Closer to this end is better at medium range. RPG, Crackshot, Free Ranger, Tryhard, AK, P90, Scrambler, and closer to this end is better at close range. Guns that the AK has an advantage over at close range. Crackshot, Free Ranger. I'll call these two the snipers. RPG, Tryhard. I will call these two the mid-rangers. Guns the AK has an advantage over at medium range. P90, Scrambler. I will call these two the close rangers. Now let's look specifically at fighting each of these groups. Fighting each type of weapon. So we have the three groups: snipers, mid-rangers, close rangers. Fighting the snipers. Snipers deal a lot of damage, but they are only accurate when still. When you first encounter one, pay attention to how long they have been still. This will tell you how much time you have before they start dropping damage on you like bricks. Use this time to eliminate danger of being hit. You can do this by getting out of their line of sight. This is better for long range, where you can't really kill them. Do it by getting behind a wall, or at point blank, jumping over them. Land near lethal damage. This one is more effective the closer you are. Because your aim cooldown is faster than theirs, you'll usually be able to shoot at them first. If you can deal more than 75 damage before their crosshair settles, they can't risk shooting and will have to take evasive action. Then you can simply aim where they're going and kill them. 3. You can dodge. When your time is up, get moving. Change direction horizontally and vertically as much as possible, as this makes it harder for them to lead a shot on you. Once they have shot, you can use the time between shots to do number 1 or 2 until they are ready to shoot again. Fighting the mid-rangers. These two guns are very different, but the way you fight them is quite similar. Each gun has a radius that, once you're in, you can mow them like grass with full auto and it's pretty much a free kill. If you encounter them at medium range, your goal is to get into that radius. So the first thing you should do when you see a mid-ranger is judge their distance they are from you. Then you should decide if you can get into the radius before they can deal high or lethal damage to you. If you can, then you rush them. If you can't, then there are a few options. 1. Get out of their line of sight and get to high ground. This means you can close with them faster next time because you can jump down on them. 2. Dodge until they have shot their mag, then rush as they reload. This is high risk, especially against the RPG. If you take partial damage while dodging, only push if you're above 60 HP. Fighting the close rangers. The close rangers dominate everything, including the AK players at, you guessed it, close range. They will have to rush you to get close enough to kill you. The longer and more predictable their route to you, the more of a fighting chance you have. When you encounter one at medium range, follow these steps. Step 1. Create a choke point. A place that narrows movement between you and them. You can do this by going around a corner, down a tunnel, or up to high ground. Once you have created a predictable route that they must take to get to you, hardscope the direction they will rush from. 3. Track and spray them down if they choose to rush. It's when one suddenly appears too close for comfort that is the problem. In this situation, you need to act fast and smart to survive. I'm going to break this one into the two different guns as they each require a different technique to defeat. Scrambler. This gun is the nastiest and hardest to survive at close range. They can deal 340 damage before you can blink. After that, however, they are vulnerable until they reload. So your job is to survive the shots and then get them in the 2.5 second interval you have, which is pretty easy at point blank. Here are the best plays. 1. Get any cover you can. Scramblers deal damage with lots of pellets. Being even a third in cover will reduce their damage capabilities. 2. At super close range, you can overlap hitboxes and they can't hit you. The best way to do that is to jump over their first shot and land in their hitbox. P90. The P90 has a large mag that you can't hope to survive until they reload, but it doesn't instantly kill you like the Scrambler. Just like the AK, the P90 needs tracking to get a kill, and that is the key to surviving this situation. As soon as you realize the enemy is there, start jump strobing like hell while burst firing from the top and bottom of your jumps. This makes shots a tiny bit more accurate. They will track and, most likely, full auto on you. This will probably end with you dying, unless you take a different action. So here are the choices. 1. You can run away. Try not to turn your back. 2. Wait for a lapse in their tracking and use that millisecond to stop moving and full auto laser beam on them. Take any shots they throw at you. Because of that fraction of a second head start you got, you should win the race to getting them to 0 HP. You might have noticed that I haven't covered AK players. Just treat them like a P90. Alright, that's that section. Now all we have left to cover are some little tricks that'll help you out against higher skilled players, such as in ranked or just sweats. Clever tricks. Peeking. Peeking has two purposes. It can give you information about where opponents are without making you a target, and you can peek shoot and then duck back into cover to avoid a shot. Baiting. There are two main types of baiting. 1. Shot baiting. You use your movement to make someone take a pointless shot at you. This is particularly effective in Shell because bullets have a travel speed. They're not instant hits. Use your audio to identify when they have shot, which is when you should stay in cover. Rush baiting. This is one of my favorite techniques if executed properly. Basically, you antagonize a close ranger, then run around a corner and wait for them to follow. Make sure you are closer to mid-range so you have the advantage. Another thing you can do is pretend you haven't seen them by turning your back on them, then spinning around and killing them once they have committed to rushing. This is a little risky, but super satisfying when you get it right. Movement prediction. Once the enemy is out of your line of sight, it gives you a good opportunity to predict where they are going and ambush them. Where they are going depends on a few things. 1. Their weapon. Snipers will tend to head to camping spots. Other players will have favourite hunting grounds on the map. Once you know where they like to go, you can plan an ambush there. 2. Their playstyle. Do they camp or do they roam? Do they have a push-repeat pattern? 3. Their health. Players on low health might head to good defensive positions or places where they are not visible, like tunnels or corners. Stealth. The best way to get free kills is to sneak up behind people and shoot them in that eggy butt. Once you know where someone is and where they're going, choose a route that minimizes their chance of seeing you and appear behind them to give them the jump scare of their life. AK sniping. You can use the AK as a sniper against enemies with very low health. Just line it up and play it like a free range and you should be able to get somebody from 40 HP to 0 HP. If you choose to do this, watch your angles because you are a vulnerable target. Secondary weapons. I could give you a huge list here, but I won't. I'll just give you one trick you can use for each secondary weapon that can come in useful. Pistol. When you're in a gunfight against somebody who is good at dodging, you can stop shooting with about 10 shots left in your AK's mag and then swap to pistol. They'll assume your AK is empty, especially if your fire rate was inconsistent during your shooting, and treat you with less caution. When the opportunity shows, swap back and finish them. Grenades. Grenades create a radius that everybody clears if they have any sense. Remember how crucial having the right range is for the AK? Well, if you place the nade right, it'll force your opponent into the range that you have the advantage in. Melee. When you run out of ammo at close quarters and your opponent is low, you should pull out melee. With melee, you can either kill them or herd them into a tight space where they can't dodge, such as a 1x1 tunnel, and then pull out the pistol and finish them. Hey guys, thanks for watching to the end. I've put in so much effort in this video. So if you appreciated the amount of effort I've put in, because I've been working on this video for 2 months now, please subscribe to let me know you appreciate that. And also, if you think I missed anything or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Alright, that's all for now. Shellfade over and out.